Hi, everyone. Welcome to our annual goal setting call. Welcome to the 2026 goal setting call. I'm so excited to be here this evening. I'm just going to give it a few minutes for folks to come on in. But as you are coming in, tell me where you're joining from. Tell me your name. Hi, Ciara. Hi, Tylen's mom. I'm so excited you are here. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Laquia. Hi, Agnieszka. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here with me this evening to have this session. My name is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Finance. We are an online financial education platform for women and our allies, and we're all about empowering you to get to the point where you're living life on your own terms and you have your finances in order. So this goal setting session is something that we do every year. I do every year, and it has somewhat become a tradition. And it's just really exciting to get a chance to spend this time with a lot of you, tenured members of our YouTube community and new members, and just spend some time laying the foundation for a new year. So I'm so excited to have all of you here. Hello, Tracy, still Jean. So excited to have you here. Hi, Paulette. Happy New Year. Happy almost New Year. I hope you guys all had a really good holiday, however you celebrated. Hello, Renee. Hello, Curly, Ohio. Hi. Hi, Gwen. Hello, Emanuela. Hello, Tanya. So excited to see all of you here. Maryland, Tampa, New York. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. Bahamas. Hello. Hi, Laomi. Hi, Anita. Team CGF. Woohoo. Hello from Missouri. Hi, Clifford. Happy holidays, Joyce. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, my namesake Bola. Nice to see you here. Okay, so I have my notes on one side in case you see me looking around. And I have a few announcements before we get into today's topic, which is our annual goal setting goal. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you have your pen and your notebooks. I also have a cup of tea here with me. But this is going to be a really good session. And the whole idea of this session is to set intentions for what we want our 2026 to look like. People will say that, oh, goal setting doesn't work. You know, everybody wants to do it in January. But I will tell you that goal setting works. Setting intentions work. You can set intentions at any time of the year. But setting intentions in advance of a new year is a great time to just really set the pace and set your intentions for what you want that year holistically to look like. So this is not a waste of your time. Goal setting works, setting intentions work, setting vision boards and laying out what you would like your year to look like absolutely does work. So thank you for spending your time with me. First announcement I wanted to make. Hello, Marla from Central America. Hello from St. Lucia. Hi, Nikki. Hi from Virginia. Oh my goodness, so many people, so many places. Thank you for spending this time with me. Hi from Texas, Florida. Okay, so first announcement I wanted to make, if you haven't already checked out our brand new course platform, please do. So we just moved to a new course platform this month, December 2025. And if I might say so myself, it is awesome. We are so excited to have this new course platform. It has been a big transition and a big move, but I would love for you to join us. We have a really engaged community, tons of courses. We have over 30 plus courses. We have places where you can ask questions, places where you can engage with community, join savings challenges and things like that. And I'm going to talk about a savings challenge. But if you haven't already, definitely check out our course platform and just come and engage with us and, you know, stay on top of your financial literacy, and it'll be totally worth your time. This is such an awesome platform and community. And when you join our course platform, you actually do get a chance to schedule free mentor calls. So our platform is completely free. And you also get the opportunity to schedule a free mentor call with one of our Clever Wealth Finance mentors, either Yasmin or Anita. Anita's on the call, just to talk about what your goals are, your plans are, any challenges you have. So it's any challenges you have. So it's really a great opportunity for you to just get engaged and get support you need when it comes to improving your finances. The second announcement I wanted to make is that if you're not already subscribed to the Clever Girl Finance newsletter, please subscribe and join us. The QR code is on the screen here, or you can go to the URL clevergirlfinance.com/subscribe. We send out a weekly newsletter with tips, motivation, empowerment, and just the whole idea of this newsletter is to keep you engaged in what you're trying to accomplish with your finances. And now is a great time to do that. We also talk about money topics, current money topics that are happening in the economy, and we share our favorite books as well. So definitely check out our newsletter. And then I wanted to invite you to join our 26-week savings challenge. So within the Clever Girl Finance course platform, we have a number of challenges, and one of them is the 26-week savings challenge. You can do it as a 52-week savings challenge. There are no rules as to how much you need to save every week, but you need to save something. So my friend Nikki is on the call, and we have been doing a savings challenge since last April. This is my second binder. I filled up my first binder and I saved $3,800 of spare change. This is money that I would have otherwise spent with my kids, hanging out, eating out, nonsense, but we were intentional about putting our money away. So I just started my second binder a few weeks ago, and I already have put aside $800 in here. So this is a really great thing to do as part of the 26-week savings challenge. The link to this binder and my stickers and stuff is in the description here on YouTube, in the YouTube description box. But I want this to be a community that saves, and a community that saves a lot of money. And so I'd love for you to join us in this 26-week savings challenge. It is linked again below in the description, or if you join the course platform, you will see the 26-week saving challenge available to you. And this is a great time to get started doing that. Hello from Canada, Illinois, North Carolina. Hi, Lisa. It's been such a while. Hello, Renee. Hello, Curly, Ohio. Oh, you have signed up. Tell me how you like it. I want to know. And then finally, my final announcement before we get into the gist of this session is that my new book comes out in March. Clever Girl Millionaire. This is a book that I completed this year. Very exciting. Despite a challenging year, my dad passed this year, unfortunately, and it was a really rough year for me, but I was able to finish this book. And this is a book that I am very excited to share with all of you. It is available for pre-order now. We'll talk more about this book in future live sessions, and you'll see it promoted on the Clever Girl Finance platform, but it is officially available for pre-order. And I would love your support. I'd love for you to share this book. It's going to be available wherever books are sold. It's going to be available as a physical book, ebook, and audiobook. The audiobook typically comes out later. I probably won't record that until March or April, but it will be eventually available as an audiobook. So yes, Clever Girl Millionaire, my book number 6. Can you believe that? Book number 6 is going to be out this March. So definitely check it out. You can order this book everywhere books are sold. And yeah, please support it, share it with your friends, with your family. It'll make a great gift. So let's get into the session. And like I said, this is going to be a working session. So I'd love for you to participate in the comments, have your notebook ready. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Curly, Ohio. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nicole. So this is going to be a working session, right? And we are just days away from a brand new year. 2026 is around the corner. So I wanted to take some time with this session to pause and reflect with you, right? 2025 flew by, right? We always say that every year. The year goes by so fast, and we all experience different kinds of changes, challenges, lessons, and hopefully we experience growth too. And so this session is going to be about realignment. It's going to be about clarity, and it's going to be about setting intentions that feel honest to you, that feel doable for you, and that can be set up in a way that is supportive for where you are right now. That's what I want this session to be. As you write down your goals, as you reflect on the year, as you state your intentions, I want it to be supportive for where you are right now, so that wherever you're starting from, you can move forward into 2026 with clear intentions, with clarity, and with that realignment you need to achieve your goals. So whether you're coming to this session and you are fresh and excited, you might be tired and exhausted from a difficult year, you might be feeling motivated, you might be feeling uncertain, you are welcome. You are in the right place, and we are going to make clear progress in terms of helping you get to what you want your 2026 to look like. Thank you, Janae. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. Okay. So the whole idea for me when I think about doing a goal setting session is this is an opportunity to reset. It's an opportunity to reset things, to regroup, and like I mentioned earlier, to set intentions. And when you sit down intentionally to do something like this, to lay out your goal, to lay out your intention, this is a pause that allows you to really get in tune with your current mindset and where you want your mindset to go, and also identify what your current money habits are when you reflect and determine what money habits you want to change. And so this recess is your chance to regroup, right? And it's all about making small shifts now that can lead to bigger changes in the months to come. So I recently recorded a podcast this morning actually for next week, and I talked about the January burnout effect. And what happens is that we all step into the new year with all these goals we want to accomplish. We have so many things that we want to do, and we want to do all of them at once. And because we've set these big, massive goals for ourselves to accomplish all at once, by the time the end of the month comes around, we're burnt out because we it's just too much for us to do. And so setting those small shifts, those small intentions is what leads to you building momentum. It's what allows you to create consistency and what will lead you to those big changes over time. And I want to say this to anybody who's watching this right now who is feeling behind or you're feeling scattered. Please know this, you are not behind, okay? You might be scattered, but you can get organized. But the fact that you're here at this session, the fact that you're ready to set these intentions means that you are building awareness. And what matters the most is what you do next. So repeat after me. You are not behind. You're not behind. You're in exactly the right place. And what matters is what you do next. Hi, Shaka. I'm so excited to see you here. Hello, Jennifer from Texas. I'm just browsing through the comments. You are not behind. Say it again. You are not behind. I am not behind. Okay. So let's get into the reflect. And I want to talk about 2025, right? And I want you to reflect on what 2025 has taught you, right? There are lessons. It may have been a great year, it may have been a difficult year. You should have known better, Katie, but now you do know better, right? And now is an opportunity for you to make change and do things differently. So the key is what you do next. That is what matters. Okay. You are not behind. You are not behind. What you do next. Let go of that past. We're going to take a look at those lessons right now, but it's how you move forward. So like I was saying, 2025 could have been a great year for you. It could have been a difficult year for you. It could have been a so-so year for you. It could have been a year that you are not so sure about, but I want you to take an opportunity to reflect, because no matter what the year looked like, there are lessons that we can learn from our 2025s. So the first question I want to ask you, and feel free to share your answers in the comments as little as much as you want to share, is what are you proud of this year? What did you do in 2025 that made you proud, no matter how small it might be? So like I mentioned, I lost my dad this year. This was I would describe 2025 for myself as a horrible year with some good moments, because my dad was sick and then he passed. And I had all these obligations with life as a mom and as a partner, as a wife and as a business owner, and all these things I had to do. And there were times where it was really, really, really challenging for me to move forward. But something that I'm proud of this year is that I kept going, right? If you don't know me, or if you didn't hear me talk about any of this, you wouldn't realize that I missed any beats, but I missed a lot of beats. And I completed my book, which was a huge deal. And I completed my book ahead of time when I thought that I wasn't going to be able to get through it. And I thought I was going to ask for a pause to push my book out to later next year. So what are you proud of? Because no matter what your year looked like, 2025, there has to be something that you were proud of, no matter how small. And I need you to acknowledge that and pat yourself on the back regarding that thing you're proud of. So feel free to share it in the comments. Bola, you said you're proud of yourself of fully furnishing your apartment tastefully at that. I love that, because your space is your, what's the word? Your space is your, like your whatever it's called. There's a word for this. I'm blanking. But I'm glad that you did that. Renee, you said you're proud of paying off a credit card. Jane, you said you paid off all your credit cards this year. That is incredible. Congratulations. Shanae, you said you paid for your wedding with no debt. Nah, you said you got out of a toxic relationship and you're getting closer to God. This is amazing. I'm so proud of all of you. You should be super proud of yourselves. Fallon, you got a new job. Nix, you paid off your Sephora card. Bola, you set boundaries in your family when it comes to money. Katie, you got your mental health in order. I see a number of condolences here about my dad. Thank you so much. And for those of you who experienced this loss, please accept who experienced loss this year as well. Please accept my sympathies as well. Gwen, you said you started being consistent with your physical goals of movement. You did not overextend yourself. Yes, so I love seeing what you're proud of. Shaka, you said you made focused steps to start a business and created boundaries. Listen, boundaries in life and with your money is game changing. Boundaries are so key, not only just for your finances, but for your mental health and your sanity. So key. I set some boundaries this year as well. Paid off a student loan, fantastic. Earned your doctorate degree in psychology. Congratulations. Close your first deal as a realtor. I love all of these. So there's a lot of things that you are proud of this year. And I want you to remember that. And I want you to hold on to that, especially when you step into the new year and you're feeling demotivated or discouraged. Remember what you did well. Remember what you have done well. If anything, start writing down your accomplishments. I have a tracker on my phone where every year I write down the things I'm proud of, what went well for my business, and what went well for my personal goals in my private life. I write it down. And when I'm feeling discouraged, sometimes I will look at that note and I'll be like, wait a minute, girl, you did this, you did that, I did this, I'm amazing, I'm fabulous. Hold on to those things that you have done well. The second question I want to ask you about 2025, and I'm going to show the banner again. Hold on. I'm just going to keep it on screen until I'm done with this section. So the second question I want to ask you is, what money habits helped you? Were you saving consistently? Were you budgeting consistently? Were you sticking to your meal planning? What habits helped you? Or what habits hurt you? So this is not about calling anybody out or making you feel embarrassed about the things you didn't do well or any bad habits. This is a recognition. This is you taking a look at what habits helped you so that you can keep pursuing them, and what habits didn't help you so that you can let go of them. For me, a habit that did not help me was scrolling on my phone. Listen, doom scrolling is a real thing, and I am a victim of it. Late at night, in my bed, when I should be sleeping, scrolling on my phone, looking and reading things I have no business looking and reading, and no business looking at or reading. And that's just a terrible habit. So what are some habits that helped you, habits that hurt you, right? It's important to be aware of them so you know how to address them. For me, it was putting timers on certain apps that would just keep me stuck and waste my time. It was keeping my phone out of my reach when I lay down to bed, so that when I couldn't fall asleep, I couldn't just easily reach for my phone. It was getting a Kindle so I could read my book in bed, as opposed to browsing random nonsense on Instagram or wherever, right? And as opposed to having my phone on my bedside, my Kindle is right on my bedside. So when I'm feeling bored, Bola, you can read a book. So what are some habits that helped you? What are some habits that hurt you? A habit that helped me that I do with my friend Nikki was being intentional about saving. I'm the girl that would say, oh, I never have any cash, but I managed to build the consistency to go to the ATM every single week to pull out that spare change that I didn't need to spend and put it in my binder. That is a new habit that I developed that really helped me. And I'm the kind of person that, until I force myself to do something, I'm like, oh, this is going to be too much work. Like, who wants to go to the ATM every week? But guess what, Nikki? You and we did that. So share in the comments, what are some of the habits that helped you, right? This is recognition. What are some of the habits that hurt you, so that you can start thinking about how you can adjust them, right? Shaka, you said, yes, track all of the accomplishments. Hi, Harzies. Okay, Curly, Ohio, you said it was a challenging year, but God showed up as always. You got your first home this year, you learned more, and you made good progress too. I'm just looking at I'm going through the comments if you wondering why I'm pausing. Kim, you said you were able to help your brother who was sick with some of your savings. Miss Fafa, we said DoorDash kills me. Delete that app and start meal planning and make sure you always have food in your freezer or your pantry. I'm not saying that you cut out DoorDash altogether, right? Because who says you can't have DoorDash? You can, but maybe build into your budget that okay, only once a week or twice a month or 3 times a month, and once those that 3 times is done, figure out what you're going to eat from your house, from your pantry. Nikki, you said you're proud of keeping up with your savings. Even at times you had to cut your savings. You bought your house. Go girl. You started a personal IRA and you're heading into your last year of your nurse practitioner program, even when you had to retake a class. Nikan, you said I got laid off in November 2024 and found a better job with much more money in March. Congratulations. Started setting boundaries and speaking up for yourself. That is amazing. Kay Williamson, you said your bad habit was being overwhelmed with the cash stuffing envelope. So what overwhelmed you about that, and how can you do things differently? Do you need to try out a binder, or maybe as opposed to a physical binder, maybe you can just do a digital version of it? And this paper that you see hanging out, these are my 2026 goals that I printed out and I put inside my cash binder, so that every time I open this binder, which should be at least once a week, these goals fall out and slap me in the face and remind me of what I'm hoping to accomplish in 2026. So that's a habit to review my goals. Lisa, you said shopping at TJ Maxx hurt you. So how do we avoid going to TJ Maxx as often? And how do we build shopping at TJ Maxx into our budget under the category of fun money so that it can be guilt-free, right? Automated money to my emergency funds, bought far too much on Amazon. Nikki, you complain about DoorDash too. Habits. Gwen, you said social media influenced what I needed to buy and have. This is a big one. I hear a lot of people complaining about social media influencing. So I think as a millennial, I'm very skeptical of many things. So I do not buy from recommendations on social media. I've never TikTok shopped. I've never Instagram shopped. If I haven't seen you in a physical store, I don't know somebody who has used you, it's very unlikely that I'm going to buy you. So what can you do to adjust this? Can you put timers on your phone? Can you unfollow those timers on those apps on your phone? Can you unfollow those influencers that are perhaps causing you to slip up or constantly selling you something? Write this habit down, this bad habit down, and start reflecting, okay, what can I do to change this habit, right? Nicole, you said you took a 3 to 4 month social media break. That is very helpful. So write down the good habits that you want to maintain, and then write down the bad habits that you want to adjust, and start getting creative and start thinking about ways that you can work on adjusting those bad habits. Bola, you said you bought a Bible and no longer read the Bible on your phone. So fun fact, I also bought a Bible this year, but I'm trying to get away from reading the Bible on my phone. Shaka, you said you need to stop that scrolling. So many habits you guys are sharing. Thank you for sharing. And for those of you who are on here, just take a look at these comments and see what other people are sharing. And what you will find is that none of us are going through this alone. When you're navigating your finances, you're trying to improve, you're trying to do better, you're trying to achieve your life financial goals, career goals, relationship goals. Sometimes you may feel like it's just you, it's just me, I'm all alone, I can't talk to anybody about this, I feel ashamed, I feel embarrassed, I feel behind. You are not behind. But what this session shows, what the comments show here, is that you are not alone. We are all human. We are all works in progress. And the key, like I mentioned earlier, is recognizing, right, setting the intention, and then what you do next. So going back to 2025, right, and what this year has taught us, I would love for you to share what surprised you the most about yourself this year, about your growth, about your choices, about your mindset, right? Don't overthink this. Just take a few moments here to be honest with yourself. What surprised you the most in 2025 about yourself, about the choices you made, about your growth, about your mindset? For me personally, I've never experienced the loss of a parent, right? My dad was the first one to leave us. My mom is still here, very much healthy and well. And so I just thought my entire world had ended and I couldn't make progress. And this is a real, I guess, this is a real aspect of grief. And I also was like, what is the point of all of this? What is the point of life? What is the point of anything? And the thing that surprised me the most is that despite how I felt and despite the months of like stress of my dad being ill, planning a funeral, family dynamics, all of that, despite all of that happening, when I look back at the last few months, I still kept going. I still found a way to keep going. And that's something I'm proud of because I have seen people experience loss and it is a struggle because everybody grieves in their own different kind of way, right? And so for me, I'm proud that I kept going. Like I finished my book. Like that's crazy. I never thought I would be able to do that. And I did it from a place of being fully present while I worked at it. And I think one thing that anchored me was knowing that that is something that my dad would have wanted me to do. So when you think about yourself, what has surprised you about 2025? Your choices, your mindsets. So I keep coming back to this binder, but I surprised myself with completing a binder and going to the ATM every single week. But where there is a will, there is a way. So let me go and look at the comments and see what you guys are saying. Nikki Shaka is saying, congratulations to you. Homeschool from the heart. You said exercise. Barry, you're talking about your bad habits, limiting your child to no more than one fast food trip a week. I'm literally afraid to see how much I may have spent at McDonald's this year. So I'm guilty because when I'm taking my kids from school to activities, I thought I was tending to stop at fast food places as well. I started putting snacks in my car. There's water, there's juice boxes in my car. There's little like snack packets that I got in bulk from the supermarket or from Costco. And that really minimized stopping to buy food. And if I had enough time, I would pack my own sandwiches and take it to them. And if you don't want it, well, that's what you're going to eat. But that helped me. So maybe you can try that. But I love the fact that you're limiting to one trip a week. The savings binder link. This link to the link to this binder, as well as the stickers, is in the YouTube description box below. This is the best $7 I have ever spent. This binder. This is my second one. The best $7 I've ever spent. My best investment of 2025 was this binder. It's linked in the description below. So let me see what you guys are proud of. Let me see. So Nazine, you said what surprised you the most was becoming a homeowner. That's amazing. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you, J29. Janie, you said you cried daily because you were tired, but you did not give up. The key is to keep going. You know, there are times where I have experienced difficult things, not just loss of my dad, but just difficult things in life, because life sometimes be lifing. And I've had to kind of step out of my body and say, Bola, okay, wait a minute. Do you want to stay in this place and just be woe is me, right? And then in 5 years, 10 years, you look back and be like, all you did was complain and whine and feel sorry for yourself? Or do you want to figure out how to keep moving? I think when I get old, you know, I pray I live a long, long time. I think when I get old and I'm on my deathbed and I am reflecting on my life, the one regret I do not want to have is to wish I had done my best, is to wish I did not allow myself to stay stuck because I couldn't get past a circumstance or a season. And it is so easy to find yourself in a space where you feel like you cannot move forward and you just settle. And you just become complacent in that situation because it feels so hard to take that next step. But that would be one of my biggest life regrets. And so whenever I find myself in difficult situations, I always have to ask myself, in 5 years, in 2 years, in 6 months, when I look back, do I still want to be in this place? Right? I use grief as an example because that's a very recent example for me. When I think about how I have felt, do I want to be in that space knowing that I need to support my mom with what she's going through emotionally, losing her husband of 55 years? Do I want to keep myself in this space knowing that, you know, me being down is not helping my mental health? It's not what my dad would want. It doesn't help my family around me. It doesn't help my kids. You really have to ask yourself these questions, right? If you stay here in this space, and this is not just about grief, this is with your career, this is with relationships, this is with your finances. If you stay here in this space and you look back 6 months from now, 12 months from now, are you going to have any regrets about what you could have done but you didn't do? Many times our minds will make a situation just feel so dire, and will convince us that we cannot move forward. And that place of discomfort, that place that we cannot stand, that situation that we hate will then become our comfort zone. You do not want that in 2026. Okay. So going back, I'm going to see your comments on what surprised you the most about your growth, your choices, your mindset in 2025. Renee, you said you surprised yourself by spending $123 on Christmas and being at peace. Please give us the blueprint. Give us the blueprint for this. How did you spend $123 only? Oh my goodness, I spent so much money this Christmas, from gifts to hosting to all of that. Please help us. That is amazing. Shanae, you said what surprised the most are people who actually showed up and supported me. I will say that surprised me too, especially what happened with me, and also people who did not show up and people who did not support, right? You kind of gain perspective on people when you go through situations, whether they're good or whether they're bad. Some people can't handle difficult situations. There's a flip side. Some people see you doing great and they can't handle the good situations either. So that surprised me. That surprised me as well. Gwen, you also said, I learned I need to fill my cup consistently instead of pouring out. It's been a challenge this year with lots of deaths and illnesses. My sincere sympathies. I'm sending you virtual hugs. 2025 was a tough year for many. Hi, Andrea. Andrea knit me a scarf, y'all. I have to pick it up from the post office and I cannot wait to show it. I'm going to show it on the next live. But Andrea has been promising me this scarf for at least 3 years now. She's a long time Clever Girl Finance community member. I love you, Andrea. Thank you so much for thinking of me this holiday season and for sending me that scarf. Thank you so much. And I'm going to show it when I pick it up tomorrow. Okay. Shaka, you said that is a powerful question. When we're going through it, it's hard to see a way out. But when we look at what we have been through, we can gain strength from that. Yes, that is so true. So to keep things moving, again, take some time, even if you can't do it on this session, to think about what 2025 has taught you. Write down what you are proud of from this year and keep track of it. Write down the money habits that have helped you and keep track of it. And the reason why I'm asking you to write this down is because there's power in putting a pen to paper and using your hand to write down your accomplishment. There's a brain to hand mind connection here that just helps you acknowledge this in your consciousness, your subconsciousness, so that you can document it, you can file it in your brain somewhere, so that when you're starting to doubt yourself, you remember who you are. So write this down, write what you're proud of, write the money habits that helped you, and then write down the money habits that hurt you as well, so that you can start to reflect on what you can do differently. Don't just write them down, but next to each one of those money habits, also write, what can I do to change this habit? And then reflect on what surprised you about your growth, about your choices, about your mindset. Reflect on those surprises that you're like, wow, girl, I did this, because that just shows you your power. It shows you what you are capable of. And sometimes we don't realize what we are capable of doing until we look back and see that we have done it, right? So this is the reflection I want you to do for 2025. Hi, Shauna. For 2025, so that you can set a solid foundation to step into next year, 2026. Now, the next thing I want us to do is to let go of what we do not want to take into the new year. So I'm going to ask you a new question. What are you ready to release from this past year? What are you leaving in 2025? What is that thing that you know for sure you are not taking with you into 2026? A habit, a person, a situation. What is that thing? What are you leaving behind, right? What are you leaving behind? What is this thing that in your mind, in your heart, has no place in your life in 2026? And even if it thinks it's coming along with you, you are not going to let it, You're not going to let it make noise in your bus. It's going to sit in the back of the bus. It's going to zip it and be quiet. What is that thing you're not taking with you into 2026? For me, one of the things I do not want to take with me into 2026 is complaining. I hate to hear myself complaining, because when I think about everything that I have, and I think about everything that I've accomplished, and I think about all the things that I want to accomplish, and I think about myself complaining, I realize that I'm just being ungrateful. When you complain, right, it's almost like the opposite of gratitude, because you're not thinking about what you have, you're thinking about what you don't have, what you can't do, what you are not. And it's just nonsense. And sometimes you complain about situations you have no control over. And that is when you just have to let it be. Let that situation be. Right. So for me, it's that complaining. I don't want to be a complainer. I don't want to complain about nonsensical stuff when I have so much to be grateful for. I see people posting being taken for granted. Listen, that is something to leave behind. Bad relationships, yes, leave that behind. Self-doubt and condemnation, leave that behind. The spirit of fear and self-doubt, those two things keep you stuck. And it's just really our subconscious playing tricks in our mind, trying to keep us in this space that we think is comfortable, but we really have no place sitting in this place. We have no place putting our couch and our suitcase in this place of comfort, because the next best things for our lives are in the next room outside of that comfort zone. So I love that. Reckless spending. Yes, we're leaving that behind. Negativity. Shanae, you said a few people. Listen, you and me both. Let's leave those people behind. Holistic vibes, you said you hate complaining too. Mumby, you said giving up too easily, you're leaving that behind, and fear of the future. Janie, you said you're leaving behind everything that does not serve you. I love that. Fear, doubt, and negativity. Someone else said, Fallon, you said not having a budget when shopping. I'm going to make one and stick to it, and create a fun money budget so you don't feel guilt, right? I find that as women, a lot of us tend to burden ourselves with guilt when we overspend, especially on nice things for ourselves or treating ourselves, or we feel guilty for shopping. Listen, you can have all the things in this life, okay? You can have the nice clothes, the nice car, the nice shoes. You can have money in the bank. You can have savings. You can have a successful business, a successful career. It's not either or. You can have all of the things. You can have that cake and eat the whole cake, but not all at once so you don't get sick. But you can have the whole cake, but you need to plan accordingly and do things at the right time. So when it comes to shopping, know your limits. Know when you're doing too much. Save for what you truly want and build in guilt-free money into your budget, so that when you do buy that expensive thing you want, you don't feel guilty, and you look at this and you're like, you know what? I deserve this. I worked so hard for it and I paid for this in cash. It is perfectly fine. So you can have all the things. You just want to plan appropriately. So in addition to making your budget, build in that extra guilt-free money into that budget. 99012 said you're leaving debt behind. You want to just pay your house bills and your mortgage. You can do this. Create your debt payoff plan. Queen Lisa, you said you're leaving behind being hard on yourself and thinking you can't save, and start saving no matter the amount. The small amounts add up. I promise you. They add up. I promise you. The first $5 I put into this binder, I text Nikki. I'm like, Nikki, ha, ha, ha. $5, ha ha ha. And she was like, ha ha ha. And both of us, literally, we saved thousands of dollars that we didn't think that we were going to be able to save from spare change. It is possible to save those small amounts, and with intention, they add up into a big deal. Katie, you're leaving behind guilt and shame and offense. Jennifer, all that does not serve you. Hi, Joey. You're leaving behind fear and self-doubt. Buried, Anita, you're leaving behind long hours spent scrolling on social media. Get a Kindle. That helped me. Vicky, you said you're leaving behind workplace gossip in general. Let's leave that behind. Fear and judgment. So many good things you guys are leaving behind. I love this. Miss Faffo, you're leaving behind the extra weight that you gained. Diana, you're leaving behind your shopping addiction. Shaka, you're leaving behind limiting beliefs of what I can do, complaining, large grocery shopping. My Caribbean way, we have too much food in this house. Listen, me and you both, I have too much food in this house. Shanae, you said, am I buying more cocktail dresses in 2026? No, I'm not doing it. But if I do, it's going to be guilt-free. Okay, we're not self-shaming, we're not judging, we're building in our fun money. But I've given up my cocktail dress habits. um Okay, so let's keep moving now. So we've talked about what we're leaving behind in 2026, and I'm sorry if I haven't gotten to your comments. There are just so many good ones, but I'm going to try to circle back again. But so we've talked about what 2025 has taught us. We've talked about what we don't want to bring into 2026. So now the next thing I want us to do is choose a word for the year. This word is going to be our anchor as we move forward into 2026. It's going to help us guide our choices, our mindset, and our energy. The word from 2025 was pace and peace, to pace myself and to just surround myself with peace. And this year, I'm leaning into peace as my word of the year because I just want peace and calm in my life. Like I said, last year was very hectic for me, or this year was very hectic for me. And I want to explore peace. And I want to pursue peace in 2026. And with peace comes many things. When you have peace, you have, peace with your finances, peace with your relationships, peace in your household, peace in your mind, peace in your mental health, just peace all around. That is my word of the year. So I'd love for you to share, what is your word of the year? You want it to be a word that's going to guide your choices, going to anchor you, going to help with your mindset, helping with your energy. Maybe it's peace like me. Maybe it's to build. Maybe it's discipline because you want to do things better. Maybe it's abundance because you want to step into that season of abundance, right? Because you deserve this. Maybe it is consistency so you can achieve your goals. Whatever word you choose, let it anchor you when things feel chaotic or overwhelming. Save that word as your phone screensaver, as your computer backdrop. Write it in your planner, put it on a post-it note, put it on your mirror. Let it be your anchor for the year. This is going to motivate you. So share in the comments, my word is what? What is your word? I see focus, consistency, intentional, discipline, resolution, gratitude, audacity, consistency, establish. Gwen, you said you're still waiting on the Holy Spirit to reveal it. Establish, structure, and peace. Hold on. I just saw somebody say this binder is $14. It should not be $14. Go find a different one. Find a $7 one. That's probably their Christmas price. But if you just put in savings binder in Amazon or Walmart, you will find a bunch of different ones. Buy the cheapest one. They all do the same thing. Don't buy the $14 binder. Take the extra $7 and put it inside the binder. More words. Discipline, consistency, abundance, overflow, love for myself, consistency, grace. I love that. Tonya, you said your word for the year is no. Now that is a word. No. N-O. Read my lips. No. Focus and peace. Focus. Tracy Steele Jean, you said persistent. I love these words. Remember, these are to anchor you. Keep these words ever present so that you can remember what your anchor is for the year. Discipline, intention, abundance. I'm seeing a lot of consistency, intention, focus, release, grace. We need a CGF money savings binder in your storefront. Somebody else said that to me. I'm going to try to work on that. You can have consistency and abundance. You can have two words. You can have a combination of words as long as you remember what they are and you use them as your anchor. Consistency and prayer. I love these words. So again, you want it to ground you for 2026, right? It's going to guide your choices. It's going to guide your mindset. It's going to be your anchor, especially when things get tough. You're going to lean into your word of the year. Mine is peace. Peace in my life overall. Money, family, health, mental health, relationships, business, peace. Somebody said faith and focus. Rowan, you said heal. Hi. Hi. Somebody said acceptance, financial peace, Reframe and reclaim. I love this. Okay. So we've talked about our word of the year. You guys are clear on what your word of the year, your words of the year are going to be for 2026. Andrea, you said stop procrastinating. Twyla, you said belief and abundance. So we've talked about our words of the year. The next thing we're going to do now is set our intentions for 2026. I want to be clear. When we are setting intentions, we are not setting overwhelm. I used the example earlier on about the January burnout, where we want to do all the things all at once, all the goals. No, we are setting a clear intention, clear intentions for 2026, right? Don't overfill your plate, right? Keep it intentional, not overwhelming. When you're about to have a meal, if you put too much on your plate, sometimes you can't finish it. Sometimes the food blends together, doesn't taste good. Sometimes you start to feel nauseous because it's just way too much. Build out a pretty looking plate so that when you put that food into your mouth, you enjoy and you savor every bite. So the intentions for 2026, I want you to focus on one main financial goal. You can have other goals, right? But let one be like your main top priority. One mindset shift, one habit you want to build or rebuild, right? So when it comes to your one main financial goal, it could be you want to save 10,000, you want to save 50,000, you want to save $100,000 this year. You want to pay off X amount of debt. You want to invest X amount. Make this one goal your primary focus. It could be that you want to pay off a huge amount of credit card debts. But at the same time, you're still going to contribute to your 401k at work. You're still going to put money in your emergency savings, but you're going to keep this goal of becoming debt-free, of paying off your credit card top. That's your priority. When it comes to your mindset shift, what do you want to commit to? Perhaps you need to shift from a mindset of scarcity to abundance. This one is a necessary one, especially when it comes to achieving your financial goals, your life goals. If you cannot see yourself in that space, if you cannot visualize yourself as that person who you want to be, it's going to be hard for you to get there. I'm not saying that you need to know the steps to get there. Sometimes you learn as you go, you figure it out as you go. But if you cannot visualize yourself in that space, right, it's hard to achieve your goal. And having a scarcity mindset is almost like blocking you from seeing yourself where you could possibly be. It's almost like blinders on that don't allow you to envision who you could be. So shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance could be your focus for this year. It could be that you want to shift away from shame to ownership. And this is one that a lot of us as women are guilty of. We make a mistake and it's instant shame. And we wear that shame like a cozy sweater around ourselves. We let other people shame us. And all we can see in our vision, in our focus is shame, 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 shame. All we see is shame, that we don't allow ourselves to see past the shame, to see who we could be when we take the lessons away from that shame, when we take the lessons from that situation and that we apply them to our next step, because all we see is shame. So what is that mindset shift you want to take? And please feel free to share in the comments, share your financial focus, share your mindset shift. And your mindset is so important because it ties into everything you're going to achieve. And again, just to repeat what I said, it's not about knowing it all. It's not about knowing the steps. It's not about having all the money right now to achieve your goals. Most times you learn as you go, you figure it out as you go. But when your mind is in the right space, you see the opportunity. You can visualize yourself in that space where you want to get to. Your brain, your heart is open, right? So what is that main mindset shift that you're going to prioritize? And then when it comes to habits, what is the habit you want to build or rebuild, And we talked about that when we talked about what the 2025 teach you. So it could be that, you want to start a weekly budget check-in. You want to start a weekly binder challenge. You're going to join the Clever Girl Finance 26-week savings challenge. You want to do a no spend challenge. We have one of those no spend challenges as well in our course platform. By the way, all of our courses, our entire platform is completely free. Free. It could be that you want to start tracking your wins. That is a habit that I encourage everybody to take on. The habit of tracking your wins and reminding yourself of who you are and what you can accomplish. So, share in the comments what is going to be your one main financial goal. We're setting intentions now, not overwhelmed. What is going to be your one mindset shift that you prioritize? And what is going to be that one habit that you're going to build or rebuild? And as you set your intentions, let me remind you, this is about supporting yourself, motivating yourself. When you write down your goals, remove every element of shame or discouragement, because sometimes some of us write goals and be like, I know I'm not good with money, but this year I want to do. No, don't tell yourself, I know I'm not good with money. I know I've never accomplished XYZ, but this year I'm going to try. No, you're not going to side shade yourself, shame yourself. You're going to write this intention down in a way that's going to support you and motivate yourself and empower you, not shame you, not make you feel pressure, not make you feel bad, not remind you about the mistakes that you have made when you've already gleaned all the lessons you need to take from it. Listen, take your lessons from your mistakes and throw those mistakes away. And do not let anybody shame you or belittle you or embarrass you about the big dreams and the big goals that you want to have for yourself. I hear it all the time. Wow, Bola, are you really going to do this? Wow, Bola, do you really need to do this? Yes, I will. Yes, I can. Why? Because I want to. That is part of the legacy I'm building for my kids. That is what I want to do for myself. That is part of what I want to look back and be like, wow, Bola, you did this for yourself when I get older. So they're letting go of the shame. You're letting go of any self-judgment, and you're definitely not going to let anybody judge you. And when you write down your goals, you're going to write them with intention and clarity that's going to support you and not shade you. I know I'm not. Cancel the I know I'm not. Okay? Okay, so I'm seeing your goals. I love it. Katie, you said I want to understand money period so I can break the generational curse of debt. This is so key. And a lot of times this, I guess, generational curse comes from a lack of knowledge. It's because we don't know, right? Of course, there's many systemic things at play. There are many other things at play, but let me tell you something. Knowledge is power. Education is power. And you wanting to understand that means that you already know that you need to tap into this side of your power. Tiffany, you said you want to save money and stop unnecessary spending. Miss Fafo, you said no FOMO. Katie, you said I'm almost 50 and barely have an emergency fund because everything's an emergency because I don't really understand how to make a budget and live off of it. So now is time to get clear on your income, your expenses, putting money aside, seeing what you can cut back on, seeing how you can earn more, right? Almost 50 is fine. You have many, many, many more years ahead of you. The most important thing is your health and your intention. So don't use your age. That's another thing. Do not use your age to shame yourself. Okay. My mom went to nursing school at 50 years old. Okay. Because she had a dream of becoming a nurse. When my mom used to move to the US, she came here with an MBA, 2 MBAs, working in finance, working as an investment banker. And she moved here as an immigrant, and it was a game changer. She was working as a nanny. She was taking care of other people's babies to be able to support us. And she decided that, you know what, I want to be a nurse. And at 50, she went to nursing school. And my mom, many of you know my mom's story and the impact that she has had in my life. So do not use your your age to shame yourself. Nope. You can accomplish anything that you want in your life. You are here to set the intention. Like I said earlier, what matters is what you do next. I see put more money in my Roth IRA, my emergency fund. I see financial focus, pay off the rest of my student loan debt. Habit you want to change, credit card usage. Listen, put a lock on your credit cards. Listen, embarrass yourself. I've said, don't let anybody embarrass you. Don't self-embarrass, but allow yourself to be embarrassed when you go to the store with that credit card, knowing you have no business spending on that card, and let it get declined because you put a freeze on it and you forgot. Freeze your credit card. So it's like a little bit of friction when you try to use it. Of course, you can easily unlock it, but it's that friction that will remind you about, hey girl, wait a minute. I thought I didn't want to use this. I'm trying to save. I'm trying to do this. And it can help you get back on track. Lola, you said sticking to a budget. Shauna, you said save money, be intentional with my spending. Yes, I can and am in 2026. Thank you for being here. Um, Retirement planning and saving, Shanae. Jillian, you said to get a 25K raise, shift your mindset from I can't to I can. Yes. And your habit, keep track of your wins. I'm gonna remind you guys again, keep track of your wins because there are gonna be seasons in your life where, or months, weeks, where things are just slow and you feel like there's no progress and nothing is really happening and it's a little bit boring and you start to feel disappointed. Remind yourself of who you are and what you've done and go back and look at your wins. Once I started doing that on my phone, listen, nobody can tell me what I can't do. Nobody, because I know I can do it because of what I've done. And even if I haven't done it before, it's a challenge. Joy said you want to build up your emergency fund, be intentional about paying off debt. So many good goals, mindset changes, habit changes. This is the intention I want you to set and write this down. And then after this session, go and review what you have written down, right? Organize your notes and put it somewhere. Like I said, I printed mine out and they live in my binder. I also have this on my phone. I also have this on my computer. Put it where you can see all the time, maybe as your screensaver, but brush up, organize these notes and reference them. Now, the next thing I want to do is for you to build your blueprint, right? And this is standard financial personal finance 101, but it is a necessary aspect of achieving your goals and getting to where you want to be by this time next year. So the first thing I want you to do is I'm going to edit this so that it stays on the screen. Hold on. So the first thing I want you to do is, now that you set your intention for the year, your main financial goal, your mindset goal, your habit you want to change, as opposed to looking at it in a big 12-month chunk where you start to feel overwhelmed. Wow, that goal is so big. Wow, that mindset shift is such a large task. Wow, that habit is going to be so hard. Break it down into quarters. If it's easier for you, break it down into monthly, right? Or even bi-weekly, whatever works for you and the way your brain is organized. And ask yourself, if I have a goal of saving $10,000 or $100,000 in 2026, what can I focus on from January to March? That's all you want to worry about in the short time, January to March, or maybe just the month of January, or maybe just the month of February, right? If you want to improve your mindset, maybe it's like, okay, as opposed to thinking about, oh my God, I have 12 months to figure out how to shift from scarcity to abundance. How am I going to do it? What can you do for a quarter, right? Break that savings down into quarterly, into monthly, into bi-weekly, into weekly. How much you need to put aside every week. That's all you need to worry about that week, that 2 weeks, that month, that quarter. Your mindset, maybe it's empowering yourself with books, with podcasts, with changing your circle of influence, spending more time with this person, finishing these 2 books. That's where you start. Break it down into smaller chunks so it feels attainable, so it doesn't feel overwhelming. The key here is to be intentional and not just pack on and load on things where by the time you get to the end of January, you're like, oh my God, why did I do this? This is a waste of my time. I could never do this. Once you've gotten past that January to March, or the month of January, the month of February, the month of March, then you shift into the next chunk. So this is going to be your blueprint. So take those goals you have set, those intentions you have set, the habits you want to change, map out your year, and then build actions into each month, into each quarter, into each week. I'm going to check my budget every week. I'm going to transfer X amount of savings every week. I'm going to read X amount of chapters every night before I go to bed instead of scrolling my phone. I'm going to start listening to motivational podcasts X amount of times a week when I'm working out on my commute to work. Be intentional and then list out, what do you want to listen to? What do you want to read? How much are you going to transfer? Who are you going to start spending more time with? This is how you design a unique financial blueprint for yourself that you can reference as you work on your financial goals for 2026. And by doing this, it helps you stay flexible and focused without the pressure of this huge list. And of course, as we navigate through life, as we navigate through the year, life may happen. What do? You reset, you readjust. You assess what went wrong. You look at what you did well, look at what you didn't do well, look at what set you back, look at what you need to adjust. Maybe you need to put some boundaries in place. Maybe you're learning how to navigate around family members, around people in your life that are setting you back. You learn as you go. What matters is that you do not stay complacent in that space. You do not make that space where you do not want to be your comfort zone. And your brain and life will do everything possible to make sure that you get it. You build your bed in this space that you don't want to be in, but you have to be intentional about not wanting to stay there. So you set your intentions, now build your blueprint. Okay. So let me see what you're saying in the comments. And remember, when you are, I'm looking at my notes here, when you are setting your intentions, you're building your blueprint, consistency is key, right? When you're building momentum with a goal, when you're trying to achieve a goal, momentum is what's going to keep you going. And it's never about perfection, right? Let me use my savings binder as an example. There are times when me and Nikki will be like, you know what, we're not going to the ATM this week. You know what, I have no spare change this week because I am going out to eat. I'm going to Panera or going to Cheesecake Factory. I'm going shopping. I'm not putting any money in this binder. But we caught ourselves, we checked ourselves, we reflected on what we didn't do well, and then we reset for the next week. There are weeks where I put 0 in this binder, and there are weeks where I put more than I planned to. There are weeks where I didn't go to the ATM. There are weeks where I was like, oh my God, this is so stupid. Who wants to do this? But I kept going. This is a simple example, but it's not about perfection. It's about that. You review, you lean into your word of the year. You review your intentions. You review your blueprints. You review what you have done well. You review what you want to change. You remind yourself of who you are, and you keep moving forward. Another more, I guess, deeper example is losing my dad. We had to plan a funeral. Funerals are not cheap. And people were like, oh my God, don't you have funeral insurance? Yeah, we were going to bury my dad regardless of funeral insurance or no funeral insurance. We were prepared to bury my dad. This is part of why it's good to have money in the bank. But in that season, when you're navigating grief and you're navigating the challenges and family dynamics and just planning to bury someone, emotions, mental wellness, I didn't want to do a stupid binder. But guess what? At the end of it all, when everything had been done successfully, done well, and I was able to catch my breath, I was like, you know what? What were those goals I wanted to pursue for 2026? And I got back on it. I didn't allow myself to stay stuck in that space of grief. So you have to find your anchor. That's why I'm big on words of the year, right? What is that thing? And it's just a word, right? It's a word. You tie your meaning to it. You tie that meaning into what it means to you personally. But it's just something to anchor you, to lean on, to help pull you out when things get difficult, because this is life. It's not just about loss of, a parent. It could be a job loss. It could be a relationship ending. It could be navigating kids. It could be just so many things that happen in life that all of you live. You all know what I'm talking about. So focus on consistency, momentum, keep moving forward no matter what. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to commit to your goal. And starting small, people always like to minimize or shame starting small. Listen, starting small is starting. Starting small is a foundation layer. See this book I wrote, Clever Girl Millionaire? I remember when I was saving my first 100K. For those of you who have been a part of Clever Girl Finance for a long time, you know this story. I would go to the credit union with a single dollar because that is all I had to spare to save. And I remember going to the teller. I couldn't do online transfer at the time because my credit union would not let you transfer more than $10. I think that was the minimum. And I wanted to maintain my consistency and my momentum of saving. So I took that dollar and I drove 20 minutes or whatever to the credit union and I put it on the counter. And the teller was like, did you really drive all the way from this address to come put in this $1? Ha ha ha. And I was like, yes, because I want to maintain the consistency. I want to keep my momentum going. $1 is not a lot, but that habit compounds. That momentum compounds. And before you know it, those small amounts that you're putting aside they start to add up. So you just need to be committed. You need to start no matter with what you have. And remember that 2026 is about stepping in with intention, with clarity, with realignment, and also keeping yourself in mind, taking care of yourself, right? Because your health is so important. Your health is foundational to you being able to achieve your goals, to work hard, to do all these things you want to do in order to achieve the things you want for yourself. I'm just going to check in on the comments right now. Shauna, you said it sounds very doable, not so overwhelming. Bernetta, you're going to plan January 1st to July 1st. Thank you for joining us from your nursing shift, Bernetta. Gwen, you said you like the weekly check-in, monthly reflection, adjustment, and quarterly review. ACLB, thanks for sharing your knowledge, wisdom, and encouragement. Thank you for being here. Bernetta, you said you're scared of looking at 3 months of bank account statements, but 2026, you're going to do this scared quarterly. So I want to talk about that. When you say you're scared of looking at your credit card statements, your bank statement, you're scared of looking at, whether you look at it or not, it doesn't change. But by you looking at it, it's still going to be what it is, whether you look at it or you don't look at it. But by you looking at it is your opportunity to make change. So the statement is going to be what the statement is going to be, what it's going to be, and you not looking at it is just going to let it compound more interest and add more fees, whatever it's going to do what it's going to do. You need to take control and look at it so that you can plan your attack. You can plan your strategy so you can get past what you don't like about that statement, which means minimizing that bill, bringing out that debt, maybe renegotiating it to a better interest rate and all of that. Lola, there's no next challenge. Just start saving now. The 26-week challenge is something that we're going to start in January, but you can join anytime. That is in our course platform, and it's linked in the YouTube description below. But this, you can start anytime. This is all year round. It's all about just saving consistently. Okay, so I said a lot during this session, but I just really wanted to come on here, as I do every year, to just empower you to make 2026 a year that you're going to look back and be proud of. Know that life is going to happen. You can't control everything, but you can do your best and you can set your intentions. So just to recap real quickly, check in on your goals at least once a month to see how you're doing. You may be on track, you may be beyond, above and beyond your tracking goals. You may be falling behind. Checking in allows you to reassess, readjust, implement. Check out the Clever Finance courses. We have over 30 plus completely free courses on our platform. When you join our course platform, you can also schedule a free call with a mentor. You can join our community. You can ask questions. You can participate. You can join a challenge. It's a really great platform. It is brand new also, so very exciting. Linked below. And if you need support, you can definitely schedule one-on-one coaching with one of the Clever Finance coaches, myself, Yasmer. We are here to guide you and support you. If you haven't already, subscribed to the Clever Finance newsletter and join our 26-week savings challenge. Get a binder, open a dedicated savings account, however you want to save, and let us save money in this community. I want this to be a community that has money in the bank. Money gives you options. Money gives you peace of mind. It lets you sleep well at night. It lets you give back and support your family and your community. It lets you walk away from situations that do not serve you. It's not all about saving for a house or paying off debt. You can just have money in the bank just because you can. So I want this to be a community that saves. So pick up your binder, open a dedicated account, join our savings challenge. I typically try to do a live call every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may shift that to bi-weekly in the new year, depending on my schedule. Whenever I do a live, it'll be here on YouTube, and I will be sharing my binder updates, my savings updates, and I would love for you guys to come in and share your updates as well. So let us be a community that saves money because we can. Let us aim to have money in the bank because we can. And then everything I just mentioned is available on clevergirlfinance.com. All the links are in the description below. Please support my new book. I'm so excited about this body of work. I'm sharing my personal story of wealth building in here, the strategies I have used, the hideous and foolish mistakes I have made. Some of them I have never shared. And as I read through the proofing of this book, I'm like, oh my God, Bola, you put yourself out there. But please support this book. It's out in a couple of months and I cannot wait, but I will talk more about this. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Hi, Osaru. How are you? I appreciate this community. I am grateful for all of you. I am praying for a successful and abundant 2026. Do not doubt yourself this year. Remember who you are. Remember what you've accomplished. You have what it takes, right? And don't let anybody shame you or embarrass you. Set your boundaries and prioritize your mental health. So that is everything I wanted to cover. I appreciate your time. Happy New Year. 2026 is going to be amazing. Thank you, Shaka, Nikki, Anita, Doing, all my friends who joined, Andrea, Shanae, everybody from the Cairo Finance community. Thank you to all the new people who have joined for the first time. There's going to be a new video up on Sunday as well as usual. I appreciate you so much and happy New Year. I will talk to you guys in 2026. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.